Hello, my dear students. And as your teacher, I'm very angry. I'm disappointed with you because you keep making one and the same mistake. You're making it for 3.5 years. It's literally everywhere, in the comments, on the news, in your conversations. You make this mistake so often that sometimes even I repeat after you. Even though, as a Ukrainian, I clearly know the difference between these two terms, Ukraine war and Russian invasion. And trust me, this difference is huge, speaking in Donald Trump's dialect. But let's discuss why term Ukraine war is so popular and why you actually do wrong when you keep saying Ukraine war, even supporting us. Let's start with an illustration. You know, as a teacher, I know that illustrations help understand the context, the situation faster. So let's imagine that the Nazi invasion of Poland in 1939 is described as Poland War in books, in films. Can you imagine that your history teacher tells you about the start of the Second World War with the Poland War? No, right? You'd think it's absurd, it's wrong, because it's not Poland who started this war. It's Germany that invaded Poland in 1939. And that is how we talk about that. Why is this situation different when we speak about Ukraine? When you say Ukraine war, you either equate Ukraine and Russia, or you play by the handbook of the Kremlin propaganda, which wants you to speak about local conflict, civil war in Ukraine, forgetting about the million lost soldiers from the Russian side that crossed to the Ukrainian side. That's important. And when you keep repeating that, you actually help Russia blame the victim for the aggression of the Kremlin. And I'm sure that's not what you want to do. So be careful with your language and remember to subscribe and share these videos. It's never late to learn, especially in such challenging times when your words, your sentences can decide the fate, not just of my country, but maybe even yours. According to the UN Charter, according to the international law, and a lot of good documents that we use, Russian invasion of Ukraine is described as an act of aggression and as invasion. Because once again, saying Ukraine war, you make this atmosphere of an internal conflict or some problems that we have. And remember about that example, Poland war in 1939. No, because first in 2014, Russia invaded Ukraine, annexed Crimea, Donetsk, Luhansk region with their troops on our Ukrainian land. And then they repeated in 2022, trying to invade all of Ukraine, failing. And now they keep failing. But the act they created is an invasion. Don't be afraid. You can repeat after me, Russian invasion. Russian invasion. You see, it's pretty easy. Or if you prefer a different term, unprovoked Russian aggression. Because I don't remember any Ukrainian soldiers planning to invade St. Petersburg or Moscow. So please help us, do not play according to the Kremlin's propaganda rules and name these things as they are. Honestly, as I observe the language of war, and you know I've read a lot of books about that, let me know in the comments below, would you like to hear more about my linguistic skills in the area? And the comment that receives most likes will get an A from me, and I'm a very strict teacher. So actually, when we distort our reality, when we substitute it with the terms that do not represent it, naming like Ukraine war, it leads to the problems like Ukraine fatigue. I don't hear about that anymore because I believe more and more people have realized that Russian war against Ukraine is a war against the democratic world in general, and that if we keep appeasing Putin, if Russia is not defeated, many problems will come to NATO countries and elsewhere. But at the very beginning, there were lots of comments with Ukraine fatigue. And I kept telling people, why Ukraine fatigue? Ukraine didn't do anything. We lived our life peacefully. We were making our own mistakes, building our country, developing our democracy, fighting our corruption, but we did not interfere into the lives of your countries. We did not need any help. It is after Russia broke the UN Charter, the international law, the Budapest Memorandum, is that we started to need your support to defeat Russia, which fights against us together with China, North Korea, and Iran. But it's not the Ukraine fatigue then, it's the Russia fatigue, because the moment Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine disappears. But the moment Russia stops fighting, the war ends. Russia, the Russian invasion, Russia fatigue. Please, once again, share these videos because many good people, those who care about Ukraine, those who care about the international law, keep making this mistake. Subscribe, become sponsors, patrons, and buy coffee to your favorite language teacher. And let's be careful, because in such challenging times, your words, your emotions mean a lot. And don't let this distorted reality shift the responsibility. Thank you.